Hey, John for jmcGarage. Outside of the jmcGarage to do a comparison video. Kind of excited about this video, so let's kind of jump right into it. We're comparing 12 years. Well, actually, no. Is it 12 years? I think it's more like 13 or 14 years difference between a 2012 Ford Escape and a 2025 Ford Escape underneath the hood. So this is part of my underneath the hood series. So let's kind of dive right into this to kind of know the differences, the similarities, and kind of, 12 years, 13 years of automotive difference. All right, here we go. So 2012, last year for the square body Ford Escape, kind of looks like the Bronco Sport, but it had two engine options available. It had a 2.5 liter MZR L Series Mazda design and based 4-cylinder. It produced 171 horsepower and 171 pound-feet of torque. This particular engine got up to 28 miles per gallon on the highway in front-wheel drive form. I think it was like 27 or 26 if you were four-wheel drive. This is a front-wheel drive Ford Escape here. And of course, this engine, if you look underneath the hood, I'm going to get my son get a wide shot of this thing. As you can tell, it's very, very simple. I mean, there's not much going on. And we're going to kind of compare between the two. But I mean, look at all the room back here. Now, the reason why there's so much room in this engine bay is this engine bay could be equipped with a 3-liter, 221 horsepower Vulcan, no, not the Vulcan V6. Sorry, the Duratech V6. The Vulcan V6 was the old overhead valve V6. In fact, what's crazy is this engine produces as much horsepower as the old overhead valve Vulcan V6. Anyway, but this could be equipped with 3-liter Duratech 221 horsepower V6. Obviously, this engine bay does not have it. You only have the 4-cylinder. So next to it, we have the brand new 2025, and as you can see, the last year 2026 Ford Escape. This is equipped with the new 1.5 liter MPC inline 3-cylinder that produces 180 horsepower and 199 pound-feet of torque. That torque comes on early. And this is a turbocharged engine, which is different. That's naturally aspirated. This is turbocharged. We're going to go into the differences and the similarities here very quickly. Now, this engine bay could be equipped with a 2-liter MPC inline 4-cylinder Ecoboost, producing 250 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. Obviously, we have the smaller engine on this one. As you can see, because this is an inline 3, you do have some decent room in the engine bay. Look at all this room on the side here. I can actually see the transmission right here, the 8-speed automatic. I can actually see the serpentine belt on the side here and actually easily get to it, even though it is a stretch belt. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and compare these two. Now, let's go over similarities. Similarities are this. They're both dual red cam, cast aluminum block and head engines. They're both inline engines. Now, the only difference between this one is this one's missing a cylinder and it's down 1 full liter of displacement. So that is a big difference, number one. Number two difference, and let me show you this on the older one. This engine wasn't very high tech for its time. It had some basic technology, also some similarities. As you can see, you see the 4 individual coils for those 4 spark plugs that are underneath. This had coil on plug ignition, and also it had intake variable cam timing, which the solenoid is right there. This also only has port injection as well. Of course, plastic valve cover. It has a composite intake, and it also has a steel, that's right, a steel exhaust manifold. Now, let's go over to the new one. The new one, let's kind of go over some similarities. Coil on plug ignition, 1, 2, 3. If I move the PVC hose there. But anyway, 1, 2, 3. And then this one also has dual variable valve timing, not just intake, but also exhaust variable valve timing done via these variable valve timing solenoids right here. This has a cast aluminum intake, cast aluminum, not intake, but a cast aluminum valve cover and a plastic intake with both port and direct injection, which is very nice. This engine also has to kind of make up for its smaller displacement, which you hard to see, but maybe my camera guy can get a little bit shot. The turbo is right back in there. Has a very small displacement turbo. It's not variable displacement, but it is a very small turbo. It is very cold out here, so this video is not going to be long. But what I want to kind of go over is, what do you guys think? I mean, we have such a broad spectrum, some similarities, but just engine technology that has just carried its way through up into the modern century. Now, the fuel mileage on this, believe it or not, on the highway, this can get up to 33 miles per gallon, even though it is all-wheel drive. That's only front-wheel drive, and that can get at best 27, 28 miles per gallon on the highway. This gets up to 33 if you want. I've done a trip all the way to, I haven't recorded it, but we've done a trip to Montana. On the way back from Montana, climbing over mountain passes and everything else, and the temperature was about 40 degrees. I was getting 32 miles per gallon in this thing, climbing over mountain passes and everything else. It was crazy. It was awesome. Anyway, so definitely the smaller displacement, turbocharged technology, when done right, can work very, very well. Now, one of the last things I want to cover, I mean, we covered the differences, we covered the similarities, we covered what makes each engine kind of unique. One of the last things I want to cover in this video is talk about reliability. Now, obviously, this has been proven itself to be very reliable. It's a very simple package, very reliable. This particular Escape has almost 130,000 miles, which is not a lot for a 2012, but it's still going very strong. It still sounds very strong. In fact, we should get an engine sound on this thing. Should we? Yeah, let's do that. Let you guys see what it sounds like. There it is. Almost 130,000 miles. Runs very well. As you can tell, this is what a normal 2.5 sounds like. It's not very loud. It's actually kind of a quiet motor. But there you go. I may have an exhaust leak somewhere in my exhaust system, but I'll get that taken care of later on. This still was running the stock exhaust. The only modification I've done to this has been a K&N air filter, but that's about it. Still everything else is stock. Now, on this guy here, we'll get a sound clip of what this one sounds like with a modern day inline 3. Oh, it won't start because the hood is open. It won't start because the hood is open. Anyway, it's going to be super annoying to us. That's all right. We're going to have to close the hood. Now it'll start. Now I know it's not fair because the hood is closed, but that's the only way I'm able to do a remote start on this right now. But anyway, as you can hear, this sounds a little bit louder because this one has exhaust on it. But if it didn't have exhaust, this engine's actually pretty quiet, especially when the direct injection's not running. As you can tell, this one has exhaust on. There's a straight pipe, and this one still has the factory exhaust. Not very loud, pretty quiet. Anyway, let's go ahead and go back over here. It is so cold. I want to close out this video talking about reliability. Now, we all know that this is very reliable. In fact, it's one of the most reliable engines put out by Ford in recent memory. This is still yet to be proven. Yes, I'm going to say it. It's yet to be proven, but I believe it can be a very reliable engine. Why? Because it has dual direct and port injection, not just direct injection. It also has variable cam timing on both the intake and exhaust, and it's done via chain and not a belt. It doesn't have a wet belt in this engine, just for those who want to know. This is all done by chain. And also, the way the engine's designed is actually pretty robust. This engine was originally designed to be turbocharged. It wasn't a basic NA engine and then they slapped a turbo on it. No, this engine was designed to be turbocharged. So again, the reliability is still out on this, but I believe it's going to be pretty reliable. We're going to find out as we put miles on this, and we'll do all kinds of stuff to it. But awesome. If you guys have any questions, like, comment, subscribe. Please hit the bell notification. Appreciate all you guys. And please stay tuned for the next video that is to come. This is John for JMC Garage signing out.